Trading, the most exciting and stressful thing to do in fantasy football. Maybe you're somebody who loves to do it. Maybe you're somebody who flat out refuses to do it in any of your leagues. Regardless, I'm here to help guide you into being better at fantasy football trades. Hi everybody, Evan with Barely Fantasy here, and this is How to Trade in Fantasy Football.
Come on, Evan, I already know how to trade. Why would I need this guide?
I'm glad you asked. If you're watching this, then I know how most of you always trade. You start by clicking on your fantasy platform's trade button, followed by crafting the deal you want to make happen with someone in your league, and then clicking send. You might be thinking, well, that's good enough, right? Well, it's not. Quite frankly, blind trading is one of the worst approaches to getting a deal done. In this guide, the primary focus will be on redraft and keeper leagues. It's worth noting that your experiences will vary depending on the type of people who play in your league. Dynasty trades are an entirely different beast, and we'll cover that in another video. That being said, let's get started. Step 1. Set your intention to trade in good faith. Oh yeah, we're really starting this guide with a mindset step. Your goal in trading shouldn't be to win the trade. Winning is for weekly matchups and the championship only. Trading is supposed to be a transactional deal in which both sides feel they benefit by having their needs met. It's not a competition of who tricks who into taking a worse deal. That's why the vast majority of fantasy football trading never works. Just like my favorite New Radical song says, "We only get what we give." Don't be that person who attempts to trade in bad faith. Chances are high that the other person will know what you're up to, and you will risk developing a reputation for being unreasonable. Your league mates might shut you out of future trade offers. Before you even think about trading for a player you want, set your mind to be patient and be prepared for the possibility of giving up a player you'd prefer to keep in order to get that player you want.
But I don't want to help the other teams. I only want my team to be helped.
Then you run the risk of losing your league. Trading is a risk you have to be willing to take if you want to win a championship. You might have seasons where you don't even complete one trade, but it is crucial in many leagues. Now that we have the mindset step out of the way, Step 2. Reach out to the person who has the players you want and find out if they're willing to sell. Before you even think about clicking that trade button in your league, your first step should be to reach out to the person who has the player you want and tell them you're interested in a trade. Whether it's through text message, email, phone call, telegram, carrier pigeon, or just sliding into someone's DMs on your fantasy football platform. Start by asking the other person if the player you want from them is for sale. For example, let's say you're interested in acquiring Amon-Ra St. Brown because you want help at wide receiver. Hey, I'm interested in getting Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is he someone you're willing to sell? Can we figure out a trade? You might be playing in a league where your league mate absolutely will not trade a specific player no matter what they are offered. Even crazier, you might be playing with someone who refuses to entertain any trades, period. You know your league, don't waste your time trying to trade with someone who won't even entertain offers from anyone. Step 3. Work together with your league mate and figure out what they want from your team. This is better known as the negotiation phase. There might be a lot of annoying back and forth communication, but this may be what it takes to craft a deal that satisfies all parties involved. After all, you can't make an offer to someone if you don't know what they're seeking in return. Most of the time, your trade partner will want help with improving a position they feel is weak on their team. To continue with the Amon-Ra St. Brown example in Step 2, let's say that person is looking for running back help in return and you have Kyren Williams on your team. Cool, you're looking for a running back in return. How about I offer you Kyren Williams for Amon-Ra St. Brown straight up? This example of a first offer may not be good enough to your trade partner.
We are prepared to make you a very generous offer.
And we are prepared to reject that offer.
Michael, you haven't even heard.
Never accept their first offer.
Maybe they value Amon-Ra St. Brown higher and want more than just Kyren Williams in return. Maybe they just don't like Kyren Williams and want a different running back from you. Whatever the case is, it's not for you to argue. It is up to you on how far you're willing to go with crafting the deal if one happens. Step 4. If a deal is agreed, then make it happen. Congratulations on agreeing to a trade with someone. You can volunteer to put the trade proposal together in your fantasy platform, or let your trade partner do it. One person puts it together and the other person accepts the offer. While you may be excited to get trades done this season, there are a few helpful hints that are important to keep in mind when following these directions. This next section is what I like to call helpful hints. Helpful hint number 1. Do not try the used car salesman approach when negotiating a trade. Have you ever visited a used car lot and had to deal with a salesperson trying way too hard to sell you a specific car? If so, then you'll understand what this means. When negotiating a trade, you should never have to over-explain why a deal you're offering is good for the other person. You also shouldn't have to get into specifics about why a player you're offering is good for their team. This will make most people feel uncomfortable, as if you're trying to manipulate them into taking a deal that favors only you. Worst case scenario, that will result in them shutting down the trade negotiation. As we covered in the first step of this guide, you don't want to develop a reputation in your league that you're a sleazy trader. Hint number 2. It is okay to shut down trade offers if your partner refuses to negotiate in good faith. Your trade partner might want too much in return for a specific player. Your trade partner might respond unkindly by counter-offering with something ridiculous, such as offering you a kicker in exchange for a stud running back. In an even more extreme example, your trade partner might post a screenshot of your proposed trade in the league's chat and encourage everyone else to mock it. Hopefully the last example is not tolerated by your league's commissioner, but the larger point being, don't ever feel stuck having to work with somebody unreasonable. You're not an asshole for setting that boundary. Hint number 3. Don't trade just for the thrill. Sometimes the best trades are the ones we don't make. Quite a strange thing to say in a video that teaches you how to trade, right? Maybe, but it's also true. You might have a player you really want to get in a trade from someone in week 5, fail to come up with an offer for which both sides agree, and then that player ends up getting a season-ending injury by week 6. While we can never predict injuries in football, sometimes the unexpected happens. Hint number 4. Don't put players on your trade block if you don't intend on trading them. You can't realistically expect somebody in your league to blindly offer more value for any player you put on your trade block. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it doesn't work that way. Chances are another team manager will reach out to you asking what you're seeking in return for the players you put on your block. Don't be that person who says, "Oh, I just want to see what I can get for them in return." Being wishy-washy is irritating. Commit to trading players if you want to do it. That's all for now on this subject. Go make some trades this season in your leagues. I'm wishing you all the best in your fantasy football leagues this season, and I'll talk to you again soon.